Greetings, peace, and blessings in the mighty name of Lord Jesus Christ. I have some thermal stuff to retain warmth in the wintertime here. Anyways, so please ignore the background. I wanted to talk about how ICE is trained by the Israeli Defense Force, and that the Department of Homeland Security, the U.S. Homeland Security, is based in Israel. Now, why would Americans want Israel to kill us? Because that's what's going on. We have the genociders of Israel who kill their own people. They believe in the Hannibal Directive, so Israelis will kill other Israelis if it serves their thing, their cause, and of course they will kill a million Palestinians, the legitimate Arab Semites of the area. So they'll genocide whoever, like the Israeli Zionists will genocide whoever. So these are the people that are treating ICE. And people are so short sighted. So the left is just like, they hate America, they hate themselves. So they want invaders, criminally insane cannibals, to eat their children and rape them, and as if the virtue signaling is somehow gonna um, prove that they're a good person. So the left won't even examine the legitimacy or illegitimacy of ICE, who's like ICE probably does not do an oath to the US Constitution. The IDF doesn't do an oath to the US Constitution. The IDF is fulfilling a rabbinic, um, Pharisaical, like satanic agenda. It's a Babylonian death cult. And so that's who trains ICE. And so when a Babylonian death cult is wearing a uniform of another country, like, or is trained by another country, like, what are people thinking? So the left should sue ICE for being a foreign body. But the thing is, the left is run by the Zionist Israel death cult. So the left won't, um, you know, care about the truth. And then the right is so authoritarian, I guess, and the right's like, well, if it's wearing a uniform, I have to obey. I mean the right, the Republicans. The Republicans are so authoritarian, and the left is authoritarian in its own way. If you're wearing if you have blue hair, or if you're, one of the leftist flavors of the month, then you're legitimate. But if you're like it was all about Ukraine, then Ukrainians are white, so we can't support Ukraine anymore. It's like the logic is so pathetic here on both sides. But the Department of Homeland Security is in Israel. They're being trained by the IDF. ICE is trained by the IDF. The IDF doesn't mind killing us. The IDF, Israelis, they're here to make money. And so now, and I suspect they run the TSA, the transportation, whatever thing. So now they're trying to fine us for not having the real ID. And I believe that the whole surveillance state is satanic. It's this Babylonian satanic attempt at playing God, imitating God by, you know, trying to have an all-seeing eye. So they have a camera in everybody's pocket, and they have electromagnetic readers, so the deep state can analyze who's in a house, how many people. And so I think that this whole real ID thing probably also goes back to Israel. And so this $45 fine that they want to have. So apparently, I think there's 200,000 people a day that don't have real ID. So somebody did a calculation, I forget her name, but it's something like millions a day, um, or something, and then like 300 trillion a year. That what I think is Israel will probably make from exploiting America. And for some reason, Americans are just like they're like, "Whatever you want, whether it's on the left or the right." It's very strange. And conservative, like evangelical Christians, you really need to read your Bible and know it because not all who claim to be of Israel are of Israel, and they make it very clear. Like these people who are just practicing every abomination you could possibly think of, and then some. And that evangelical Christians will just like apologize for it or make excuses for it and be like, well, maybe they'll get saved if we support them, even though they're killing a million people, literally, their own and others, children and women. I mean, so folks, the United States Department of Homeland Security is in Israel. The United States Department of Homeland Security is trained by the IDF. The ICE people are trained by the Israeli Defense Force. So ICE is basically like an extension of the Israeli Defense Force. So if you want the Israeli Defense Force here on the land here in the United States, you want the Israeli Defense Force who kills people. They'll kill whatever. They have nothing, no problem with it. They think it's romantic. They think I don't know. Like there's just something very sociopathic, psychopathic. These people are destroyers. They are not builders, and they rely on the goyim, the non. They rely on the Gentiles to build, and then these Satanists just kill the Gentiles, and then the Satanists take take what the Gentiles have built. So please look into this. I'm not making it up. Look at where the Department of Homeland Security is based. It was established in Israel in 2008. And people are like, "Oh, Christy Noem must be good." No, she was worse than Gavin Newsom during lockdowns. So just because somebody's a female conservative does not mean that they even really mean it. Sometimes they're more of a worse Democrat than a bad Democrat. So just you guys gotta look into these things. Like I'm against illegal criminals being here in the United States or anywhere. And steps that need to be taken, but the Israeli Defense Force people do not get to touch Americans. The United States government is hiring a mercenary service to deal with illegals. Okay, but um, you have police that will then protect Americans from these satanic demon worshiper IDF minions. Maybe there's a place for these demon worshippers, whatever. Have a demon worshiper deal with another demon worshiper. I don't know, but they shouldn't be. They shouldn't have free reign to harm Americans, even if Americans are behaving badly. Like, who is supposed to deal with Americans behaving badly? Our local police or our local military. But the IDF, ICE, that they don't get to touch Americans. As much as I'm annoyed by leftist Americans, as much as I think they're insane and demonize themselves, still the IDF, ICE don't have a right to touch our messed up American just liberals. So tell me what you think and add any further insights.